do so, it does get very difficult going forward in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, for both the Aurelia and the Call, it feels like two champions who desperately will want to snowball, and it looked like the final position there in the draft was a Call on the top side, will not opt for the flash, instead going for the Ignite, going for a much more aggressive build overall. But when I look at this comp, and anytime we see a Nico kind of pop up in these games, Azael, I always think back to their finals where you just saw so much attention put down to the bottom side because of the setup that Nico has for ganks with an incredibly strong root.
Yep, root, you have taunt, as well to follow that up, or if you do see a taunt flash coming through from the Galio, flash taunt rather, you can actually root very easily out of that. That is all setting up for the CC from the Sejuani. And I kind of respect the Ignite TP here from the Kai'Sa. It does make it more risky, but I also just feel like this game is going to be decided for Tay in a side lane. Team fighting seems almost impossible for the Akali against this sort of squad. There's so much CC that you feel like you're always going to get locked down and taken out, right? All it takes is one taunt. Then there's the Rune Prison. Then there's the Sejuani ult, the Sejuani knockup, the root from the Nico, the stun from the Aurelia. There's just so much CC.
Yeah, absolutely is the case. But of course, before we get into this game, we do have a sideline report. Riv spoke earlier today to No Man's. Let's hear what he had to say.
Thanks, guys. I had a chance to catch up with No Man's after the third consecutive win in Group B, and I had to ask him, how confident are you in going undefeated in the group? He says, very confident, but we still have to take it one game at a time to get out. Back to you guys.
30 seconds until
And good to hear. Thank you, Riv. Level-headed from No Man's, not feeling overconfident. Important to remember, despite the fact that, INTZ and Mega are both out of contention, Vega has to win every game and beat Dead FM to really keep up at this stage. If Dead FM are able to take the tiebreaker and Vega have dropped a game here, things change very quickly. You're forcing a tiebreaker at the end of the day. The story can change very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Vega don't want to get overconfident. Really do want to continue to kind of take things one game at a time, playing very, very normal. And, they've secured themselves a great advantage, but a lot of games of League to play still here for them.
And, of course, tight schedule as well. Winning out today to tiebreaker or just straight winning the group. Still have to play that best of 5. Of course, we'll get the luxury of watching the first best of 5, a little bit more time to prep, but definitely a dense schedule for these Group B teams. And very important to keep a level head as we move further into the tournament.
And really for everyone in play-ins, it is, a grind. There's very long days. You have to stay very, very focused. Try to avoid getting too tired. Try to avoid getting too stressed out about the results of any individual game because there are almost always so many more to come throughout this day and throughout the play-in in general. But we'll see if they're able to actually, go on that undefeated run. Certainly would be very impressive for the CIS. This was expected to be the weaker of the two groups, but still, a 6-0 run would be monumental.
Yeah, it would be huge for both the LCL and for Vega Squadron, as well as the Shark in the audience. Of course,
especially for the Shark in the audience.
Especially for the Shark in the audience. Now, of course, we did see Mills and Redbird not opting to leash, instead opting for that level 1 priority, hard shoving the wave in and getting a division down, so they will have tracked Ananasik. But it does a free shinny up to take this crab completely and totally uncontested. Decent amount of knowledge here. And for now, Redbird and Mills doing a good job. And one thing we got to keep our eyes on, Gadget very good at using the shape splitter to block major skill shots in this lane.
Yeah, and that's such a big thing, having that champion mastery. We saw him actually doing a similar kind of thing when he was playing Heimerdinger, where he was actually blocking Lee Sin Qs with his turrets, placing them like that. You can kind of use it in a similar way. You can see that Anasik is actually giving up double scuttle here over the Rek'Sai, realizing that the lanes are going to be pushed in, realizing that the 1v1 duel may not go in his favor, but Anasik has gotten up here behind Tay.
Tay only level 2.
Remember, he has no flash as well.
Is he taking the Shuriken flip? Is he taking the Shroud? I'm guessing the flip as well. Nope, the Shroud does manage to come out. The second he reveals himself, they will be able to proc the stun instantly, but it does fall off just in time, but he's still going to go down. Boss going to grab first blood. Absolutely massive. A slow play in the end, but well done.
Yeah, really well done. I mean, and so smart to actually attack that person who skipped the flash. It is kind of more of that greedy play, looking for the solo kill. And getting up there while he's still level 2 was so critical, because without the Shuriken toss, you don't really have any form of escape. Great, you drop the Shroud. Who cares? They can wait it out. You can't actually flash to avoid anything. So Ananasik commits his own flash, but it is first blood onto the Aurelia in this critical 1v1 matchup. So flashes straight in, gets the red buff applied. The passive is up. Tay has a pretty well-timed Shroud, but there's no way out. All he can do is just straight walk away.
Even after it falls out, it's just so easy for Aurelia to just dash in, land any ability she needs to, and now I like the aggressive approach here from Boss, coming back triple longswords. He just wants to smash in these trades. He's okay maybe delaying an early Trinity Force, instead going for something like a Tiamat.
Yeah, exactly. I think Tiamat is going to be the option anytime you see the longsword starting to get stacked up. It can be very, very strong. Tiamat, you know, in the straight up like 100 to 0 fight, maybe weaker than something like the straight up Triforce Rush, but what it really does is it gives you a lot of wave clear to actually control that lane, and it also critically is setting up those ranged minions very easily with the Tiamat active and also with the Tiamat splash off of your Qs for additional blade surges. So you can have those resets, be dashing around throughout the wave, and that allows you to have more ability to outplay, to dodge skill shots, and to avoid ganks.
And of course, it's going to be very mechanically demanding lane between the Akali and the Aurelia, landing a stun. Feels like a death sentence at this point with this kind of lead, but Akali has all the tools to avoid it. For now, the advantage airing in the side of the Aurelia. Corrupting Pot, triple longsword, very comfortable spot to be in. In the bot lane, we're finally seeing a bit of pressure shift over to the side of Vega Squadron. Gadget doing what he can with the Shape Splitter to scout out, but Envy and Shinny very clearly still comfortably in control of that mid lane area. Early levels for Jace, very powerful. Ryze now with the tier can start to fight back a little bit, but Jace with the hammer swap. Ryze also is a no ultimate champion, feels like a pretty nice matchup for the Jace, because normally level 6 feels like maybe a bit of a turning point, but doesn't do anything.
Yeah, not going to do too much, but honestly for No Man's, there's no reason that you should try to go aggressive. You just farm this out. If you're holding the Jace even in lane, that's fantastic, honestly. Ryze is going to outscale. Ryze is going to be able to match in side lanes. You have TP versus Cleanse because there's so much CC on your team. The Cleanse tax has been paid, which means you can play side lanes a lot better than the Ryze, or rather than the Jace later in the game. So for No Man's, there's no pressure whatsoever to do anything other than CS.
But Shinny, though, feeling a bit of pressure to try to get something done here. Of course, decent amount of CC, not really for setup for the Jace, but really strong execution ability, or if he wants to commit the flash as well, a potential knockback in the Thundering Blow.
It's pretty hard, honestly, to take down an Aftershock Ryze, though, and you can see Boss trying to assert his dominance here in the lane. Conqueror's procced.
Yeah, Tay has to be careful here, but good trade back and forth. Tay holding his own despite the deficit that he couldn't put in. CS deficit now starting to mount as well, as Aurelia very comfortably can push out. Most likely will complete the Tiamat, but now in the mid lane, the snare going to stop Shinny from going for anything else. You have to assume he may have wanted to flash there, but No Man's going to deny. Envy going to extend the play anyway. Throwing down a few more autos. Is just looking to keep it going, but the shield coming in. Massive there in the exchange.
Yeah, but if you look up at the top side, that huge CS advantage is because Shroud was down and Boss hit level 6. So there was the potential for a dive. Tay had to completely back off the turret and just give up all of that experience and that gold. So falling even further behind as a result when you're down XP. Very, very dangerous. And you can see Santa's kind of setting up here. Gadget using that clone, helping to kind of scout out. And they do have a very early Ocean Dragon as well, so that was grabbed in the midst of all this.
Sejuani stepping forward. Redbird just going to dash back to the minion. And honestly, kind of fishing for that play. As we mentioned before, a lot of setup CC on the bottom side, but do have to land it. And Mills and Redbird giving the respect deserved over to the opposite side.
It's just going to feel so good to have that Ocean. You know, for No Man's, for Boss, these guys not really going to have to worry about the sustain very much anymore. You're going to be able to have more ability to kind of survive through these lanes, and it can be such a game changer when you are going up against more kind of early game-centric teams that are supposed to win lane. You essentially just have, you know, a free massive advantage, and Shinny down here is level 6, trying to look for something, but has not been able to find much of anything whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's just... Honestly, you bring up the Ocean Drake and it seems brutal, and now Vega can very comfortably kind of sit and scale, because we've been in this position before where one team feels like they're going to do better in the late game. Yes, the Kais is a terrifying late game scaling threat, but the Ryze is too on the opposite side, and we've seen when push comes to shove, No Man's on this Ryze can take over a game. Yeah,
he certainly can, and I think the biggest problem is even less about, you know, say Kai'Sa versus the Nico or anything like that. It's just that Vega has such a good 1-3-1 style composition. There's not even the 2 teleports to match it, right? You know, how do you actually play out that game if all Aurelia and Ryze are going to do is just sit in the side lane and have TP advantage? That's very, very difficult to really play up against for the side of INTZ. So they need to be able to force plays. They need to be able to actually, you know, engage fights and make things happen. And to do that, you have to be winning.
Definitely do. For now, just a small deficit, however. The Ocean going to be the biggest pain that they have to deal with. 300 gold. Although Jace will now get the blue buff matched by No Man's having it on the opposite side. Maybe able to find some greater advantage. But once again, it's a position where Shinny has the more early game focused jungler. Needs to find an early game similar to how he did with the Gragas. Ignite, though, goes down onto Mills on the bottom side. Feels like they're fishing for a bit of damage.
Yeah, Mills chunked very, very low there. Does have, you know, Biscuit and the health potion running, but it is Boss and Anasik looking to actually kind of group back up here on the top side of the map. Sejuani ultimate is up, so you know, they could go for this, but Shroud is available. You know, they're certainly going to have a Shuriken toss at this point in the game as well, so it's much more difficult to make it happen unless he uses that Shroud aggressively.
Maybe try to get him to burn it, but would have to commit some cooldowns to do so. No Man's, though, playing very far back in the lane, respecting the potential for Rek'Sai to come over the wall. Hitting himself behind the turret normally might be a risk, but still feeling confident. And Galio moves up as well. Soundtest ready to cover if they do go for the dive. Has been spotted out on the ward and will stop any kind of aggressive play in its track.
Yeah, and anytime No Man's does get chunked out, he can back off. He can regen up some of that poke damage with his Ocean. You know, it's something that is very, very effective in that regard. You're never going to really be able to attack the Rises of Mana either with Ocean plus Tier, so he will just wave clear away. And Jace's going to have to reset once more, unable to really find much of anything. And Nenasik didn't find anything on the top side either. But it is just kind of the continued farm game.
Tay, though, still playing with a lot of confidence topside, but the binding does going to land onto Braum. Braum needs to step back to Mills if he wants to dash out. He has to flash first. Looking for the ultimate, has been stunned up. The Chain CC now comes in as the Nico ult is going to connect. Redbird set to fall, but a beautiful use of the stopwatch. TP coming into the backside. A caller ready to try and clean up the fight. No one has gone down yet. Santa's most likely the first to go. Tay ready to get this fight kicked off. Will dash in again. Still ticking. Santa's taken down, but Aurelia is now here as well. The ulti comes out. 1 dash, 2 dash. Looking for the stun. Sejuani has not hit it yet. Moving forward, going to try to grab one. That's going to be 2. The Nico with a double kill. The Aurelia getting the 3rd. Mills alone standing under the tower, and Vega turned the fight in an instant.
Vega just slaughtered that fight. Santa's stopwatch got so much value, not only buying time, but immuning the Rek'Sai ultimate, staying alive for such a long time there. The TP comes through from Boss, and he's able to clean up. Gadget getting so much. 2 kills already, 2 kills on the Aurelia. They're going to farm a bunch of plates here, and that is more gold going into the bags here of these already rich members.
Oh, 2K advantage this big is early, especially when it's so focused in these individual lanes.
Yeah, Gadget able to actually spot him out with the clone there as he was recalling, and Nanasik comes down, is able to wait, nails the ultimate as Braum tries to actually W out. The first TP does come through here from Tay. Boss actually recalls, buys, then is TPing in, and that ultimate from Santa's, stopwatch from Santa's, able to buy so much time for the Aurelia to arrive. Hits the ult on multiple members. Blade surging 3. Gadget is free hitting. He does clean it up.
And now the fight's just going to continue. Shinny desperate to try to find the Rift Tail, but has been caught out by the rest of the team. No Man's now moving forward, gets the point-and-click route. No Man's though on the backside, has to be careful. Galio coming in, using the ultimate, breaking up the team fight, but Boss is here as well. The stun not going to connect. Flawless duet. Not quite so flawless in that one. Rift Tail now backing off very low. They can extend it if they want to. They can try to take this objective down, but both sides just going to retreat 1 for 1 in the end.
Yeah, don't need to force it here on either side. Neither team has their jungler remaining, so it would be somewhat risky, and No Man's maybe get caught.
Caught out here. Shroud has now been used. Santos can try to come in. The taunt is going to get used as well. Does manage to retreat back to the Shroud, so now they're pulling back. No Man's taken down, but Boss going to grab a kill back. Redbird has to be careful as well, but Jace on the way up. Gadget throwing out the ultimate bot side, but not going to get anything as Mills cleanses and walks away.
Yeah, Mills forced to use the cleanse, though, is quite low, and you can see Nico winning this 1v1 very heavily, looking for it.
Trying to find it, trying to get an outplay as well. Gadget walking forward, now thought it was the clone. Gadget stepping forward, taking one more tower shot. Mills not going to be able to get anything. The empowered auto comes through just in time.
Yeah, absolutely shreds him, and that empowered auto also doing so much work on the turret. Gadget being caught.
Ocean Drake's starting to tick up. He's getting a lot healthier. Shinny has to be careful here. Now he's going to use the ultimate to come out. Gadget going to swap sides. Oh, tried to go for the tricky play. Is not going to work in the end, but Redbird grabs the kill.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually better that he gives that kill to the Braum instead of the Rek'Sai, so you're going to be feeling pretty good about that. Gadget, 1v1, gets the solo kill on the opposing Kai'Sa, takes a turret plate, and then is able to actually donate the shutdown over to the enemy support instead of a carry, so very nicely done from him down on the bottom side of the map. Really showing off that champion mastery, and Blade of the Rune King now complete, as well as those tier 2 boots. Gadget is going to do a lot of damage, and also anytime you get turret access with that 3rd hit passive auto, that works on turrets, so you're just shredding through them.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why it does work on turrets, but it does a lot of damage. That is most certainly true, and with the movement speed additionally on the passive, impossible to get away from the Nico. But the good news is from the bottom side, while the shutdown does go to Braum, the Dragon will in turn go to INTZ. Sadly, it is now traded for the Herald, though, so it'll still be 1 for 1 in objectives overall. And have to see if they can put that Mountain Drake to good use, as Ananasik and Boss are just going to cleave through this one.
Yeah, going to be able to knock this down, and first turret is still remaining. Plate's about to fall, so unless they drop it immediately, they likely won't get any plate from this, but should be able to go up here for Tay and force it down.
Tay needs to be careful here. Shuriken flip. We'll take him to safety. Has the freedom to jump back into the Shroud. Ulti just a little bit off there. We'll use the second half of the ultimate just to dash away. No Man's trying to threaten, trying to pull back, ready to have that escape option, but instead we'll just retreat. Gadget, though, going to lock up Mills. Mills just instantly taken out. Redbird caught sleeping. The second he leaves his AD carry alone, Gadget goes in for the kill.
Yeah, Gadget is just slamming Mills at this point. Back-to-back solo kills on this guy, putting in so much pressure on the Nico. Really, really well played here. Again, Vega just so impressive on so many different picks. It's really, really difficult to kind of pinpoint a weakness of this team in Group B when they're able to play so much stuff to such a high level, and now dropping the Rift Herald mid, threatening for a second tower here. Looks like they'll just get it, no problem.
Yeah, not really any tools to contest. Mills is dead. Jace is returning down the mid lane. A second charge as well will be a good bit of damage into mid lane. There won't be much past that, but complete and total control from Vega. Every game up until this point has been slow. It's been about one final team fight to decide it. This game feels like it's a very different pace as Vega have a 3K gold lead 15 minutes in.
Yeah, the pressure is certainly mounting on INTZ. As the towers all get cracked, you can start to now move your Ryze as well as your Relia out to those side lanes and really start to kind of pressure elsewhere.
Rom's trying to block a little bit of damage here, but Unbreakable falling away, and you can see how much he'll take. Anonisic, though, traded back against, and yeah, 9 plates is just a huge amount of gold in the early game.
Yeah, it really is. And now, there you go. Ryze top lane, Aurelia heading to bot. You park your Nico mid lane just for that wave clear. Now who answers, right? You only have one teleport. You can send Tay to either side to try to answer one of them. But if you send Envy down to the bottom lane to answer this Aurelia, well, guess what? They can make a TP play elsewhere on the map.
And it's so difficult, too, because even if you want to attack the mid, the 3 and the 1-3-1, Gadget's almost impossible to lock down. They really don't have like a reliable point-and-click CC option. And the Nico has the Shape Splitter. Her movement speed is incredible after every one of those third autos. And once she gets a Ginsu's, it's every 2 autos. So difficulty, burden of execution, definitely stacked against INTZ. They're not out of the game, but Vega have everything going in their favor at this point.
Yeah, they really do. Not to mention the Galio can obviously, you know, respond to either side, especially once Galio gets a little bit more range on that ultimate, you know, gets a shorter cooldown post level 11. You can really kind of get out to those side lanes that much more easily, you know, try to turn those side lanes in your favor or even peeling there for Gadget. But it's Vega running the map here, looking to pressure. And Anonisic is down here. They could dive Envy very easily if he does walk too far forward.
Good news for Envy is that while he doesn't have the TP, and while that's going to make a lot of things more difficult, the cleanse will help immensely against the Sejuani and Aurelia. Don't know if we're going to see the commit here. Anonisic seems to be more content backing off here, may have enough gold to spend, and Nomance is just going to walk away. Shinny threatening for the gank, but we saw this earlier in the mid lane. Without the commitment of the flash, it's just really not too scary for the Ryze.
Yeah, as soon as Shinny shows, though, they know that they can dive this Ryze, right? So they just walk up and proc the demolish on that turret, get some damage down, but it is TP coming down now from Tay. They're trying to collapse.
2 members here. The TP from Ryze is going to be a little bit later. They're going to have to react quickly. With 3 members now to the 4 on the opposite side, and Anonisic sees an opportunity to go in. The Shroud has been used. Speeding up Tay, though. Acceleration Gate will help him retreat.
Yeah, it's just backing off. It is a trade of TPs, but that's honestly, you know, in Vega's favor. When you have the additional teleport, that's the only one on the map already used here now by Tay. They do match, but they still have TP advantage on the side of the Aurelia. And INTZ aren't able to actually commit to that because when the TP is matched, Galio is roaming down. You know that Galio could answer any sort of real commit to that fight. So it's just going to diffuse very, very quickly. It's a trade of summoners. But again, in Vega's favor.
Little things. INTZ need to find some kind of victory, but for now, kind of just looking at how Vega are going to play the rest of this one out. Saw opportunity, they immediately punished. And it feels like, I don't really think there's any pressure right now on Vega to like go for any crazy aggressive play. We saw what they did earlier where the second anyone shows, they know they have a man advantage, they move in for a bit of tower damage, and it feels like they can just slowly bleed INTZ out of this game.
Yeah, they definitely can. I mean, I think there's opportunities if they do see a good chance to try to force a play, because especially playing around Gadget now, he's so strong at this point in the game. Just completed his Rage Blade. He has over 3,000 gold ahead of Mills, and he has 2 levels up on him, so that is just insane.
No Man's, though, has to be careful here. Knows the CC is gone from the Akali, so we'll just dash away to safety. Akali now using the Shuriken flip to try to make it back out. And Anonisic just ready to posture if Akali did overcommit there. And Boss is actually comfortable here in a 3v1 scenario. They're not confident enough to dive him despite seeing the jungler on the bottom side as well as the Ryze. And Gadget gets a free tower.
Yeah, Gadget will just take this. He can rotate bot. That was the alt and ignite out of Tay, so pretty expensive all in there from him. No Man's able to withstand it and back off. They do trade a tower on the top side, which I do like. Trading those towers when you are behind is in your favor. But Tay is going to have to back off, and it will be another dragon going the way here of Vega. INTZ, though, still pushing on the top side, so maybe able to make it 2 towers for the 1, plus that dragon. So that is nicely done by them to be able to find some gold, to be able to trade that back as well as they can.
Puts them in a decent position overall. I have to feel like Vega may have wanted to get more there. Boss now knocked up. The initial stun going to connect, but the Galio is on the way in. That's going to be the knockup. Shinny all alone with Aurelia, not where he wants to be. The taunt connects, and Boss going to grab one. Connecting across, and Aurelia, fancy footwork, one more dashing cleanse, but he can't stop anything else. Gadget over the wall, Envy's going to be rooted up and taken out. Blade Search still available. Boss getting yet another reset. Gadget going over the wall, wants to keep the fight going. Mills does not do enough damage to step forward there. Uses the ultimate away. He's actually just getting blasted. This is a DPS check.
God.
You're not going to win the RuneScape duel, and there is no room to outplay there. Auto for auto. Gadget comes out on top, and now Vega, I cannot believe it, but they are just smashing this game, and on the back of that one, the 20-minute Baron will start.
This one's not even close. Gadget is just an absolute monster. That was 2 unassisted kills on the bottom lane there. He's just running them down. That is actually his 3rd solo kill on Mills this game. That is utter domination. 20 minutes in, 12-4. They take down the Baron.
And Tay can't even get the 1v1 on the bottom side despite knowing no one else was coming in that matchup.
Yeah, not much opportunity for him to do that. I mean, he'd already used Ignite on the previous play. Here this is one more time. They dive forward onto Boss, but Boss flashes back, buys time with the ult, and just shreds through Shinny, who is so squishy at this point of the game. And it's a very fed Aurelia. Already had the Triforce as well as the Tiamat. Gadget, great route over the wall, and then just starts walking him down, flashing over the wall in chase onto Redbird, proccing for the additional speed, as you say. And then Mills commits the ultimate, but just gets absolutely melted there by Gadget. Really, really playing well on the Nico.
And you got to feel bad for Mills in this situation where he's at such a deficit that he's basically a spectator to this game. Every time he enters, there's just no one on the enemy team outside of Santos who can't kill him in a 1v1 at this stage.
I mean, honestly, they could just end the game. Like, your 80 carry is 4,000 gold ahead. It doesn't feel like INTZ can actually challenge on any side. They're 1-3-1-ing. No one's even trying to answer the 3-man squad. They just give up the first inhibitor for free. If Vega is able to find a fight, the game could just end, but for now, they are content to just clean up the rest of the gold on the map. They take an inhibitor tower in the mid lane. Bottom tier 2 goes down. Aurelia pushing towards that top tier 2. But one mistake from INTZ and the game ends.
And this could just be that mistake depending on what they can do. Shinny and Tay stepping forward. Boss could look for the outplay. Is immediately going to throw the ulti onto Tay. Will not get the freedom to reset, but Ananasik is on the backside. Not quite enough damage to kill the Aurelia. Tay will get one back in the exchange. The shutdown. Going to be big there, but it might not be enough. Ananasik flashes forward, hits him with the flail. And on the meantime, the bottom side, there's a fight breaking out. Gadget stepping forward. Redbird taking so much damage. The Nico's unstoppable. She's simply too fast. She's just going to run the rest of the team down. No Man's on the front line. That's 2 more kills. Vega Squadron absolutely obliterating INTZ in this game. Outcrossing across the lanes, across all levels of play. Yeah, Vega are set now to end the game. Incredibly dominant performance. One of the fastest, if not the fastest game we have had in Group B thus far. And there is nothing for Envy to do. Heartbreaking run for INTZ, but Vega clearly eyes focused on the top of the group, and they are uncontested right now in first place on the back of this win. For now, though, they're going to have a bit of fun with it. Wanted to take the rest of the game seriously, but they're realm warping the team in, and they will end.
Really, really, really impressive, honestly, from Vega. They have showcased so many different picks, so many different styles, and they just absolutely trashed INTZ. That was not even close, really, at any stage of the game. This bottom lane Nico went off.
6-1-4 from Gadget. He will be your player of the game. Get more of his stats to show you later, but honestly,
almost doubled the gold almost of Mills. It's like, it's just insane.
It was incredible. I mean, I just think that there are so few people that have put the time into Nico once she got those nerfs. And Gadget is one of them, and it's paid off significantly. When those damage nerfs came through on Chase Split, a lot of people backed off from the on-hit Nico, but he stuck with it, and you can see it's paying off here, as clearly people are just not prepared for how much damage this champ can do, the CC setup that she provides.
Yeah, I mean, he just looks so comfortable on all these different picks. He is player of the game, as you said, and really, really dominant stuff here from him. Very comfortable, either throughout the laning phase, he was looking good in the 1v1s. He clearly knew how to push an advantage. Finding multiple dives and solo kills onto the enemy AD carry. This is where it really felt like it all went wrong, though, for INTZ. This was a hard commit to this bot lane play. Fantastic stopwatch from Santa's, bought so much time. Gadget got a double kill. The Irelia was already fed, picked up even more. And here again, Gadget going for it. I think they just thought that was the clone. Braum is walking away to ward. He just completely tricked them.
Absolutely. And I think that's like when you look at Nico play, that's kind of what you want to see. And it feels like he's using the full strength of that kit. We've seen him domestically block so many skill shots with the Shape Splitter, obliterate Ezreal